Oh,
Yourself?
yes. I'm a Muslim. I believe in the religion of Islam, which believes in brotherhood, complete brotherhood of all people.
Salaam Alaikum. What's going on, everybody? This is ER with you, the People's Champion, welcoming you to another episode of our podcast from teacher to Murabbi. Today, I want to talk to you about fearing Allah to the most of your ability. Fearing Allah. This is extremely important because, again, we said that being a Murabbi is an act of worship. And seeing that it is an act of worship, having a fear of Allah is going to be very important in us purifying our intentions. So we need to make sure that we're fearing Allah inwardly and outwardly, so that we're not sending mixed messages. We want to cultivate our inside by, of course, keeping our prayers and fasting and things like this, but to do more than just this, to continually take account of your heart, continually remind yourself of your intention, to, at the end of the day or the beginning of the day, to think about your actions and to take account of, where you've fallen in error, where you've made mistakes, and to see where you can fix that. To have remembrance of Allah, to keep Allah's name continually on your tongue, to make dhikr, to read the Quran, to busy yourself with reading about the companions and other than them of the Salaf. This is extremely important. Our knowledge as teachers, of course, many of us, we have degrees in various subjects, so the subject matter is not really going to be that huge of a task for us to convey to the students. But even with our knowledge, we have to continually, sometimes go back and review, especially for those of us who are teaching older students. You're teaching things like calculus and physics. You need to go back to the drawing board every once in a while and do revision. Well, the same thing with our heart. Same thing with our intentions, that you have to, go back continually to revise, to remind yourself, to renew. This is important. It's important for us to have this fear of Allah, that it shows not just on the inside. Of course, on the inside, it's not going to show to anybody but you. But outwardly, we need to be able to have the signs that you do fear Allah. And part of that is following the Sunnah. That those who follow the Sunnah, it will be clear that this is a person of Sunnah. It'll be clear that you're a man or woman of Sunnah. It'll show in your clothes. It'll show in your walk, and the way you talk, in your dress, in your appearance. It'll show in everything, how you deal with people. It will show outwardly. So it's important that for those of us who are walking this path of the Murabbi, that you have a continual fear of Allah. And that continual fear of Allah is going to be inward and it's going to be outward. For the men, it's going to be very important for us to exhibit a sense of manliness, of masculinity, especially if you're teaching in a situation settings where it's segregated, where it's boys and men, or boys and girls. Then for the men, it's very important that you show and you exhibit a manlyhood, and this is from the Sunnah. And for the women, it is also very important that you are showing the young girls an example of femininity. And vice versa. It's good for the girls to see examples of men, proper men, and good for the boys to see examples of proper women. But for both the male and the female, it's important for us to try to be physically fit as possible. Now, for me, I have a small little problem, but that's okay, because I make up for it in the shoulders and everything else. But we need to be good examples. So we need to show them that, yes, physically we're strong, we're capable, we're taking care of ourselves so that the students can also model that. But also, we want to have with that leniency with our students. We don't want to be harsh and rough and tough all the time. There's a time for that. I'm not saying that, I'm with this lovey-dovey new generation thing where everything is all cuddles and hugs and kisses. No. But I firmly believe that the roughness and toughness should be reserved for the times where it's needed, and that should not be the default stance that you take with your students. That leniency and love should be the baseline that your students see, and they should be able to see that from you. And the only way that you're going to be able to do that is if you're continually reminding yourself to fear Allah, and you walk in the path of fearing Allah. And the more that you do this, the more that you cultivate a piousness in yourself, the more you'll be able to exude that and exhibit that to your students, and they will hopefully benefit from your character. As usual, I leave you with smile, stay classy, have a good day.